Do you like my new shirt?
Dude, where did you get that?
Don't ask me any player on this team.
As a Giants fan, I love it. And to be honest with you,
Looks pretty good.
I feel like you kind of look a little bit like Willie Adames. That's the jersey you're wearing.
So, funny story, I was at the outlet.
Okay.
And I was going through the rack, and I saw this. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so I looked at the tag, and it said $75.
Yeah.
And then it said an additional 40% off. I was like, sweet, I'll take it. And so I go up there to the cash register, I check out, and it was $175 plus the 40% off. And I'm like, freak, I'm here at the cash register, I have to get it now. And so I ended up just getting it, but I like it. But don't ask me who this person is. I honestly,
$100.
Huh?
But it cost you $100.
Yeah, but it's cool.
He's a shortstop for the Giants. Just signed, came over from the Brewers.
I don't think I know one
You don't have
player on their team.
You look good in it. You look good. But I think that you kind of give Willie Adames vibes.
Okay.
Like if you had a little goatee, right?
Awesome.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, Willie, put a picture right here, Willie Adames.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. All right, welcome back everybody to another episode of King of the Court. We are here. Can we call this home?
This is our new home.
Yeah, so we had to rearrange a little bit of furniture, but little by little, slowly but surely, we are moving in. King of the Court is moving in. Yeah, we're here finally after many years and months of waiting. We are here. Thank you to the Picklr, the Lehigh Picklr here in Utah. If anyone is interested in signing up, I think this is the best Picklr location open at this moment.
Yeah, me too, because it's close to my house. And I mean, it's pretty incredible.
There's a bunch of windows, so Jimmy's eyes might be wandering everywhere.
I'm like a squirrel, but I'm just thinking, if I'm being honest, I'm just thinking it's 11:30 on a Monday. And half the courts are being used right now, probably.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive to me.
Yeah.
Or maybe unemployment rate's high. I don't know. One or the other.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in Utah works. Everywhere I go, you see people and you're like, shouldn't you be at school? Shouldn't you be working? Shouldn't you be doing this? And here they are. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, all right. Big shout out to our title sponsor, which is the Picklr. We love the Picklr. We're here in a Picklr location. It is beautiful. We love the setup. We love the courts. We love the lighting. If you're interested in starting your own franchise, reach out to them and you can become a business owner yourself. Jimmy, do you have any updates with the Picklr?
Yeah, like why wouldn't you want to go in with your friends or become a business owner, first of all? Biggest update is MLP.
So we're getting into it.
MLP in Kaysville. MLP is back at the Kaysville Picklr.
Yep.
July 31st to August 3rd. So I'm just going to tell you this. I've been going up there a couple times a week.
Okay.
Right? It's about an hour or so from my house.
The way you drive, I get up there faster.
Well, with traffic, it's longer, to be honest with you. It's miserable, but that's just because of the time I go. But they are doing a brand new build out, Tyler, for the Kaysville Picklr.
Okay.
Literally removing an entire court to make 2 championship courts.
Okay.
The build out is...
All right, quick question. Is this the Picklr or is this Utah? Because I was under the impression that Utah, the home team, they had to do a lot of the renovations.
I mean, listen, I don't know, but I'll just say this.
Sounds like you do know.
I'll just say this. I would assume that Connor Pardo is spending about as much as he did on his team on this build out.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, but they're building it out, 2 championship courts. I mean, we know that Kaysville location is massive already. Bigger crowds.
Jimmy.
Insane matchup.
The shirt.
What? It's down. You can't see them. All right. Anyways, get ready. And best part, code KOTC.
Code KOTC works for all tickets, for all PPA and also MLP.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Picklr. Thank you for your support.
Dude, I had a freaking owner of a team. So teams only get a specific amount of tickets because the owners are the people that have the money, so they want them to buy them.
Yeah.
I had an owner of a team say that he used KOTC for VIP.
Smooth.
Saved like $200.
Yep.
So yeah, check them out.
Thank you to that owner.
Kaysville Picklr. MLP is back. MLP Salt Lake. We will be there. Will you be there?
I'm planning on it, yep.
Even if you're not there, Even if you're not playing, you'll be there?
Most likely, yeah.
All right.
Okay, also big shout out to PickleCon. If you're interested in signing up for a one-of-a-kind event where all things pickleball is happening, go to PickleCon.com and use, or we don't have a code with them, but just go get signed up. It's the best event. There's a lot of panels, a lot of business stuff, a lot of fun activities. They have puppy yoga, which hopefully we get to see some videos of that.
They're doing
That's
referee
really cool.
training. They're doing breakout sessions, panel discussions. They're doing networking events, mixers. You want to find that next mix partner?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to find that next spouse, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend.
Yeah.
PickleCon's the place to be.
Okay, go check it out. Lots of celebrities will be there as well.
Terrell Owens.
PickleCon.com.
In the house, T.O.
Okay. Also a reminder, code KOTC works for all PPA and MLP events throughout the end of this year. So use the code.
And our code still works. Our link still works for Pickleball Central.
You have to click it though.
You have to click it, but you can still use our link for that as well.
All right. Last but not least, we have a Cameo. If anyone is interested in receiving a personalized message from myself or the one and only Jimmy, go to Cameo and search KOTC and we will appear. We love getting those requests.
We will appear.
All right, Jimmy, so we had MLP this last weekend. It was in New York City. It got moved a little bit at the last minute. It was originally supposed to be in DC, is that correct?
Yeah, so it was supposed to be in DC. They ended up moving it. I don't think they wanted anyone getting shot this year. I don't know if you remember last year, they literally found shell casings on the court. But it actually was supposed to be at George Washington University, so indoor, on a basketball arena.
Okay.
And something happened where they decided not to do it. I think part of it has to be the fact that DC moved to Brooklyn, and so they wanted it to, be more their home court. I have to say this: Brooklyn pickleball team is crushing the activations. They're crushing getting out in the community. They're doing events. They were on the news in New York before this event.
Times Square?
Times Square.
They got a billboard?
They did not get a billboard because they're not Annalee Waters, but they went and played pickleball at the top of the rock.
I saw that. What happens if the ball falls off the roof?
Well, that's why they told them not to do just to dink, just like to get the shot.
But
and
I know
Riley,
a lot of people that would just get so nervous and they just send a ball.
Well, so they asked them to be careful and just dink. This is what I was told. Just so they could get the shot. And then Riley went for an Ernie.
Typical.
Yeah.
Classic.
And they were not happy that he did that, because if a ball falls off the roof, I got to imagine if a wiffle ball falls and it hits maximum velocity, you can injure someone.
You would think that, but also, I don't know how fast a wiffle ball can go.
You think? Because I heard a penny. If you drop a penny
That's
off the
got to
roof,
that's got to have more weight, though, more mass than a pickleball.
you think? I
would
don't know.
think.
Someone tell us. But
Yeah.
So anyways, they're just crushing the activations. So they did this at Randall's Island, the John McEnroe Tennis Center.
So it was outside the city.
It was outside a little bit, city of New York, Manhattan, but I heard Uber costs were not cheap to get to the island. And I also heard that the only thing on the island is this. It's a park. So kind of an interesting setup. Crowds were, I thought that the setup of the arena, the courts looked cool, but I think that it was bigger than we're used to, and so the crowds looked sparse.
Yeah, it was a holiday weekend in New York City.
Yeah.
Temperature's hot.
So I didn't know this, Tyler. I didn't know everybody leaves New York for the holidays instead of coming to New York.
Yeah. Well, New York in the summertime is really nasty.
Yeah, it's horrible, and it's 4th of July.
Weren't you supposed to be there?
I was, but Richie and I have kind of rotated on event, because we play 6 events in a row, which I think we should talk about right now. We play 6 events in a row. Players are fatigued. They're tired. You play San Clemente, PPA, then San Clemente, MLP, then New York. BCO starts on Wednesday.
For
Challenger. Then St. Louis next week. Then
Salt Lake.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Then Salt Lake. Then San Diego. It's a lot.
It is.
And I think we're seeing a lot of fatigue. And one thing that I'm noticing is, like, I'll just give you an example. Like our team, okay, Juan and Michael Lloyd have not played together, right? They're both used to playing the left. Michael's getting used to playing the right, because we felt like in the short term that was the better answer. I think Michael's better on the right than Juan is. The gap between Michael and Juan on the right is bigger than the gap between them on the left. But they don't have time to drill. They don't have time to train. They don't have time to work on anything. We don't have time to like gel because all we're playing is games. There's zero downtime. I mean, our entire team literally landed back at their houses last night at 3 in the morning, and they all leave tomorrow.
Yeah. Not only that, but you guys, Challenger, are playing the exact same teams over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So that becomes very monotonous and
It does.
it takes a lot to stay engaged.
Yeah, and if you look at like Vegas was on a roll, right? I was like, I don't know. But I told Samin this in San Clemente. I said, I don't know if Vegas loses. Well, now 3 of their last 4 matches have gone to Dream Breaker, and I think they've lost
2.
They lost 2 of them, and we lost to them 22-20. But they just lost to the Chefs. Like, so I think that it does just get monotonous.
Because Jared Paul's the best GM.
I mean, according to him and Jim Kloss in their pissing match. But yeah, it's hard, dude, and it's tiring, and it's just a grind for these players. And I get it. We're all talking, professional athletes. You guys are getting paid a lot of money to play pickleball, but honestly, not everybody is. And
I'd actually say most are not.
Yeah, and I think that it's a very difficult schedule right now, and I like that there's a season, but
well, there's not really a season. There's a season for MLP, but then there's also a season for PPA.
Exactly.
And PPA thinks, oh, when you're not on season for us, then you guys can go do whatever. But in reality, your season is MLP.
It is MLP, yeah, and I think the hard part is they're not able to. Like I said, nobody's able to improve right now. It's really tough to improve. It's really tough to work on your game because you are playing so many events back to back to back. And so those teams that have that continuity already, that like you and Connor Garnett is a great example. I think you guys have an advantage because you already play together on the PPA tour, right?
Sure.
I think that, Hayden and AB, right? They play together.
They have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, have a lot of chemistry together. I think that those types of partnerships are big.
Yeah.
And I think they have an advantage.
Okay. All right, so let's get into it. Some of the matchups that we liked and disliked. As we always say, there's so much stuff going on in the pickleball space that it's hard to talk about every single event that happens. But with that said, some of the matchups that you liked from this last week.
One thing is Brooklyn had another undefeated. They got the maximum points but won.
So technically, I believe they're number 1 if you're going off of wins.
If you are going
in MLP.
If you're going off
So they are the number 1 team, coached by the one and only Kyle McKenzie, best GM in the game.
I don't think he's the GM though. Josh Gartman's
coach.
the GM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coach.
I would say Gartman is up there though in terms of GM. I mean, look, they have plugged in. I mean, AJ has fit in seamlessly.
Okay.
AJ and Rachel beat Ben and Etta. It's a good win.
Okay.
But here's the weird part about the scheduling. They've been at the same event 2 weeks in a row with Columbus, and they haven't played each other. That's weird.
The only thing is, the schedules were made before the season started, and so if a team gets hot or 2 teams gets hot, and you didn't think they'd get hot in the beginning, then you're not going to pair them up, like towards the end. And so that parity between the matchups that you would like to see, sometimes they're not there.
I agree. I just think if you're at an event with another team twice, it's weird to not play that team.
Sure.
Only 6 teams are at the event.
Didn't New York play Columbus 2 times?
Yeah, but one of them was a holdover from Columbus.
Oh, gotcha.
From in Columbus.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think when CJ was sick or something, they moved it. The lighting issues. There's the lighting issues, and then CJ got sick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so.
Okay. So look,
the first day was 4-0-4-0. Everybody. Hustlers. Let's talk about that for a minute. Corey Ben Bassett. Can't get a call back. I can't get a text back from him.
I think he's the best coach out there, GM.
I don't know if he's not paying his phone bill. I don't know if Ryan Serhant is not paying him enough. I don't know what's going on.
He looked pretty energetic on the sideline.
He did, and I actually sent him a text. I said, it's great to see you back on the sideline. He wasn't at the last couple of events. But I can't get a call back from him, so that hurts.
Like a lot of people in the pickleball space, to be honest.
Yeah, so that hurts a little bit because I thought we were friends. I mean, the dude went from calling me every day to never talking to him. But his team, okay, look, New York punted on the season. They punted. They made a bunch of money. I think that they made $600,000-$700,000. I think the goal for them is to go all in next year. The problem is they're so bad, Tyler. Like they're really, really bad.
Okay.
And their lone bright spot was supposed to be Zane Ford. He's not played well. It was supposed to be maybe Donald Young. He's missed a bunch of events, and now he pulls out mid-event with a shoulder injury. He said he slept on his bed wrong, and he hurt his shoulder and his neck, my neck and my back. So he got injured there. Him and Corey looked like they got into it a little bit on the sidelines. Corey has to take off his own shirt, which we all saw, by the way, his chiseled body, and give it to Eric Forsyth.
Do you think it smells good?
No, he was wearing it all day. Disgusting. And then after the match, Eric gave it back to him.
A true New Yorker.
And then Eric gave it back to him.
And he wore it with pride.
And he wore it because guess what? If you're in New York, with how bad that town smells, you don't notice yourself. So it's good for him. I mean, that garbage smell, I guess you get used to it. But Forsyth came in, the jungle cat himself, and I thought he did pretty decent.
Yeah, it was funny. Somebody on the Facebook forum was saying that they pulled some random guy from the crowd, but
yeah, but he has a
6.0 plus duper rating.
Yeah, so I don't understand MLP substitutions. I don't understand what's going on. I'm a GM, I should know these things, but everything's really confusing to me. So you have a sub, right? Every premier team already has a sub, okay? New York did not travel their sub, who was Steven Madonia. Right? So they pull on the on-site sub. I didn't see New York start down a point.
I think they did.
Did they start down a point?
I think they did, yeah.
Okay. So Forsyth comes in for that. Brooklyn, Deckel's out because he...
Or maybe it was Brooklyn. It was one of the teams they did start down.
I don't think Brooklyn did because Deckel's out.
One of them did.
He coughed up a freaking rib, literally. Pat Smith has walking pneumonia. Riley's obviously not 100%. How does Brooklyn, I'm just asking this like hypothetical because I don't know. How does Brooklyn secure AJ every event? AJ's not up for grabs for other teams?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
How are they able to secure AJ every event?
That's a Sameen question.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking because AJ's essentially become a part of their team. He's played for them every event.
Wasn't this the same with Mad Drops too, with AJ?
Yeah.
So there was another team that
yeah, so they're able to secure, Mad Drops were able to secure Blaine Havanier.
Yeah, maybe it was
last year for every event. So I don't know how this is all working or the substitution. I would love some clarification because here's the other thing. Bay Area Breakers traded for Sam Querrey, knowing that Sam Querrey couldn't play. They knew he couldn't play because he's commentating Wimbledon. And then they went because essentially waiver period is over. They went one more event with Roddy, didn't work out great. So they wanted to pick up another player. Well, the waiver period is over. So what do? You trade Roddy for Sam Querrey, who you know can't play because he has prior commitments. And that allows them to go pick up someone off waivers, who ends up being Colin Johns. Who, look, I give Colin a lot of shit, but Colin he's Challenger's perfect for him. And he played really well in Challenger, and that team was much improved with him. I think that I think they lost once all weekend. I mean, that's really good.
The best part of this is he is now being included in the TikToks.
Yeah, he's included in TikToks. Alex Trong is crushing the social media game right now. But so they did that knowing they can go get Colin. Feels like a little, I mean, it's smart. I'm not going to say that this wasn't a smart decision by Jeff, but like, I don't know, it feels like there's clearly lots of rules in place that need to be addressed because now we're manipulating substitutions. Rafa, I guess, was told that he could be on-site sub, and then he was told he couldn't, right? But also Bay Area didn't have to start a point down, even though they had Colin. I mean, I guess I just don't understand these substitution rules, and honestly, it's getting so convoluted. And this week at BCO, you're not going to be there.
I won't be.
You are having surgery.
Yes.
Jaume's out. Kwong is out. Deckel's out again. Pat Smith is out again. I think there's more that we're not mentioning. So who's going to sub for these? How does the substitutions work? Is it first come, first serve? Do you just get to claim whoever you want? Like, it's a tough situation. I think it looks really bad, if I'm just being honest with you. It looks bad for the league. It also looks bad, like that Bay Area had a chance to pick up Colin on waivers. Had they done that, nobody would have said a word. They didn't. They trade Roddy. Now they go back and get Colin, and they get to add a top 15 player.
I'm still confused with the Colin John situation because isn't he top 15 in men's doubles?
Yeah, so you can't trade for him, but he was a free agent.
Gotcha.
So I think that you can still pick him up. The one thing I will say, I do need to give credit where credit's due. Colin played great. He played phenomenal. He was a good teammate. He played really well.
Plot twist. Colin is a ray of sunshine.
He seemed like
energetic. Let's go.
I don't think he was energetic. I actually think he's an energy sucker, and he sucks the energy out of his own team. And
except for this last week.
But DJ and Colin play a similar game, and they're just very methodical, and they're gonna almost like walk to the kitchen line, and they're gonna beat you at the kitchen, and they're just gonna counter, and they're gonna dink. And first of all, for our guys, it's a horrible matchup because we want to drive and crash, right? We want to end the point 2 shots. So yeah, it's just it's kind of wild. Honestly, it's a tough team to play. And if he stays with them long term, I don't know if or when Sam Querrey's coming back, but if they allow them to keep Colin long term, then I think you're going to start seeing people complain a little bit. But I don't know. I just don't know how the substitutions are working. I guess that's my whole point, and how these same players keep ending up on the same teams.
Awesome. Real quick, we got to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which we talk about them every single time. They are the best pickleball nets available. It is called C&D Pickleball Nets. They've been with us from the very beginning. They make very high-end nets. Every good facility out there uses these nets. If you're interested in buying them for your house, for your church, for your gym, for your club, whatever it might be, go to bestpickleballnets.com and use code KOTC. It saves you money and also supports us here at KOTC.
Yeah, look, nothing better. If you do go, speaking of New York, if you go play at City Pickle, Central Park, C&D Nets.
Yes.
So
I have a lot of friends that post all these pickleball venues and stuff like that, and I have a friend in Japan or Asia somewhere, and he just posted a facility. Dedicated courts, looks beautiful, but then they're using these temporary $150 nets. It's like, oh man, you guys gotta do better. And C&D solves that issue. I promise you the experience is elevated significantly when using these high quality nets.
You know what nets the Picklr uses?
C&D.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, they also have a bunch of different products. Not only do they make the temporary nets, they also make the in-ground nets also. So they have a lot to choose from. My favorite right now is the Challenger net. It's very economical. It retails at $15.99. Use code KOTC. It saves you a little bit of money, but yet still delivers a very, very, very high quality net.
Yes, I agree. All right, let's get into just real quick. Carolina Hogs traded for Etta.
Yes, so that was a big one. They were sitting in almost last place.
They were last, dead last.
Okay.
Before this event, I think they had won
3 or 4 points.
3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
Something, not a lot. They have now won. They now have 17 points.
Yeah, so they're tricky. They're very interesting. I think the road for them to make the playoffs is extremely difficult. Never say never, but I think it's extremely difficult, even with...
So 10 teams make it. Columbus, Brooklyn, Dallas have all clinched. Columbus is number 1 in points, by the way. Brooklyn's 2.
Yes, yep.
So they have all clinched. The Shock, Mad Drops... Actually, we're gonna go points per match. So Flash, Shock, Fives, Brooklyn, Columbus, Mad Drops, Ranchers, Squeeze, Utah. That's 9.
Yep.
And then the Slice. The Slice have...
They've played the fewest amount of matches, though.
They have. So the Slice have played 14 matches. They have 14 points. The Hogs have played 19 matches. They have 17 points. Slice are averaging 1 point per match. The Hogs are at 0.89.
Okay.
So it is very, very possible over these next 8 matches, maybe they go 5-3.
So right now, are the Hogs making the playoffs?
I'm going to say the Hogs make it as the 10 seed.
Wow.
I don't think they can catch you guys because they're 6 points behind you.
I don't think they make it.
But yeah, here's the other thing. The Hogs could actually, so the winner of BCO gets 6 points. Second gets, I think it's 5, and then third gets 4, something like that.
They're not winning it.
I don't think they're winning it, but what if they get third?
No, the top 3 are locked.
if the Hogs can somehow creep into third and you get those extra points over Chicago, you never know. But I mean, Hogs played well this weekend. But the reality is once they played the top teams like Brooklyn, right? They lost. I mean, Brooklyn ended up beating them. What was it? They beat him in a Dream Breaker, so they did take him to Dream Breaker. But that's where the Hogs kryptonite is, and I think that's why Etta was traded, because the Ranchers wanted a better Dream Breaker team.
Yeah, I mean, you can see both sides of it, because yes, Caitlin is better in the Dream Breaker.
Yeah.
But would they even be getting there?
Exactly. That's where it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
They're putting all their eggs in Christian's basket.
Yeah.
For sure. So the Sliders beat the Hogs 4-0. And then Brooklyn ended up beating the Hogs in the Dream Breaker. So when the Hogs ended up having to play the top teams. Yeah. Speaking of Brooklyn.
I mean, this is kind of the situation with many teams, but it's crazy. If you take Ben off that team.
Yeah.
They're at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, they were at the bottom with Ben.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much impact one player can have.
But I actually think, if you want to be honest about this,
Let's not
if
be
you take Etta off that team, they're the worst team, because they were without her. Right? With Caitlin Christian, they're the worst team.
Well, that was also with Colin.
That's true. But is Roscoe better than Colin?
I think it's different.
I think the attitude changes,
Yeah.
for sure. That Dream Breaker, by the way, was insane. Rachel Rohrbacher, I think she ended up...
Brooklyn versus...
The Brooklyn, yeah. I think she ended up going like 10-2.
Dude, Hogs had a match point. Roscoe was on his paddle.
Yep, it was.
Missed it by an inch.
Yep.
Inch or two.
Tammy was incredible in the Dream Breaker, painting lines. It was insane. Brooklyn women, Tyler. Jackie and Rachel.
Yes.
They've won 12 in a row.
That's awesome.
One short of the MLP record.
Who's the MLP? Is that
The fives.
Jade?
Oh, yeah, Jade and Catherine, I
Jade
think,
and
are
Catherine?
13. That's what I think they said. 12 in a row.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, I think the weekend went exactly how we expected in New York. I don't think there's no upsets.
I was a little bit surprised with Orlando and then also Miami. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando's going to go how Sam Parker goes, right? Like, Sam Parker is, if she's playing well, like she did against Miami, then, they went 4-0 against Miami. If she's not playing well, which, by the way, Miami was without Jay. His wife had a baby. Girl number 4.
Yes.
Congratulations, Jocelyn.
They don't find out until the baby is born.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they have, I think, 3 boys, and they found out the day of.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
No gender reveals
Yeah.
in France, huh? They don't get like a croissant and they bite into it and it's blue or pink.
Different chocolate.
Different chocolates of croissant.
Chocolat.
So they played Utah.
Utah.
According to Dave Fleming, it's Utah.
Utah.
And I thought Utah did pretty good. I mean, I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
First ever recorded Japanese player to get a MLP win.
Which is sick, because we have Picklr Japan opening soon.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about the Hogs real quick. Okay? I'm confused by this. You have the wealthiest owner. Your owner owns PPA, UPA, one of the main investors of UPA, right? He's a billionaire. He owns the Carolina Hurricanes. He knows what it takes to run a professional franchise. I heard even a rumor he was trying to get a Major League Baseball team. Your team shows up in plain white Hanes t-shirts.
Hey, classy.
No names on the back.
Classy.
And then Ben, in an interview, outs the GM as being Dylan Seeger, who is the pro player liaison for PPA.
All good.
That's not a conflict of interest?
Oh, we're past that. There are so many conflicts of interest.
I mean, we have Chris Patrick with the Vegas, who literally is the one signing players, signs James Delgado and then drafts them. But we have Dylan Seeger now, the pro player liaison, is calling the shots for Carolina.
What did he say exactly? Because I didn't hear it. I saw people talking about it, but I didn't hear what he said exactly.
What they said was, hey, when your lineup was set.
Maybe Ben got confused.
No. They said your lineup was set last night. Were you trying to avoid, or what? did you not want to match up with so-and-so, whoever they're playing? And he said, I had no idea who I was playing until this morning. Dylan, our GM, set our lineup last night. Dylan does everything for us. Dylan.
We love Dylan. Dylan Seeger is the best.
I like Dylan.
Yeah.
But that is again, we're back to this
I'm
blurred
confused why,
lines.
because they actually do have a GM running the team.
Well, Caden, who is
Yeah.
Tom Dundon's son,
Yeah.
again, nepotism runs deep. I remember when Braxton Pardo was Utah's coach.
He still is?
He is?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years.
He still is.
Haven't seen him since Vibe. Is he on the payroll? Do you think he gets paid?
He's the best guy out there.
Where has he been?
He's been at tournaments. He was in San Clemente.
He was?
I think so.
Oh, PPA though?
I'm not sure. Yeah. They blend together.
You, Connor and Braxton, or the tournaments?
The tournaments.
Oh,
Yeah.
or both. Anyways, it's
Hey, Pardo's getting skinnier.
Pardo looks great. He's getting after it.
Yeah.
One time you sent me a picture of him in some tight pants.
The best is when he did a front flip into his pool
Yeah,
after the election.
yeah.
He was loving life.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about, speaking of Pardo, he announced that they're having a new replay system.
I heard that. Yeah, it was on the Dink podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2026.
Yes, automatic line calls.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I'm curious how that goes because I do want to talk about this.
And he also said for every court.
For every court.
There's no way that gets implemented unless they reduce the number of courts that the pros play on just to like 5 courts or something like that.
Well, I think that the plan is reduced it to 6, I heard. Okay, so, but I do want to talk about this. There's 2 things I want to talk about. We're playing the Nashville Chefs. Okay, the game is 8-7. Nashville's leading our men. Okay, and they hit a ball down the middle behind Juan and Michael. Juan turns around, gets his head around as quick as he can. Juan calls it out. Right? So they challenge. You go to the replay, zoom in. It's a fuzzy ball. You can't really tell where it bounces. The only camera angle they have is from the opposite side, so you have to look over the net, in between Juan and Michael. It's a fuzzy replay. You actually can't even see where the ball bounces.
Yeah.
So the ref comes back and he says that the ball was out. Okay? We get the point. Then we play a whole nother point, right? And we get that point. So now it goes from down 8-7 to now we're up 9-8. And all of a sudden the referee stops the match.
Which ref was this? It couldn't be Onisha.
It was not Onisha, although I heard she was the video ref. But I don't think that she made this call.
Okay.
I think it was Jim Ryan. Stops the match, comes over and says, I messed up. The ball was actually in on the replay, not out. After we played another point. We went retroactive back to 8-7, gave them the point to make it 9-7, and then they served again.
Whose serve was it when that happened, when it initially happened?
It was our serve. We were on a 2.
So it should have been their serve.
So it should have just been their serve.
It should have been their serve, yeah.
Yeah.
And they took the point away from you?
From us,
Okay.
yep. And they went retroactive back.
Gotcha.
I've never seen that before. That's a massive referee error.
First for everything.
Number 1, it's a massive referee error. Number 2, the fact that it was even overturned, I think, was tough. If the original call was out, to overturn that, I think, was really tough. Because we also had another one earlier where you literally, again, it was missing the frame where the ball bounces.
Yeah.
And I don't envy these referees at all.
Yes.
Because they have to guess.
Well, are they guessing, or is it only what the video shows?
Well,
Like, are they
I think if you're
inferencing?
missing the frame where the ball bounces, you can't really overturn a call.
Yeah.
Because you never see where the ball actually lands.
Exactly.
You can
But
assume.
if the line's right here, and you see a frame right here,
Sure, if
and
it's
then out over here.
sure if it's 3 inches in, but if the frame right before literally it looks like it's going to maybe touch the outer line, it's tough to overturn that.
Yeah.
And we had one of those overturned. And look, like I said, I don't envy them, but again, you want players to play for money. You want them to play for prize money. You want all of these things. You damn well better get your replays right.
Yeah.
Because that's hard.
Yeah.
It's you can't, and you also better get the calls right, because to be honest with you, that killed our momentum. We thought we were up 9-8, right? We're rolling at that point.
Athletes adjust.
I mean, they didn't. They should have. You're right. Jared Paul, who obviously didn't see it, goes and sends out a tweet saying that Juan made an awful call. If you literally go watch the replay, it was nothing awful about it. Was it close to being on the line? Sure.
Yeah.
But we've seen awful.
Yeah.
We saw an awful one. We saw Etta and Tammy call one.
I'm surprised. There was quite a few balls that were in that got called out that were in by a good amount.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the Dream Breaker with between the Hogs and Brooklyn.
I saw the end of it.
So Tammy hit a ball down the line. Jackie gave her the in call and then challenged her own in call.
Yeah.
And it ended up being in by literally a millimeter.
Yeah.
I felt like that's probably the way to do it. If it's that close.
But had she called it out, I bet they would have sustained that call.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's...
They're not going to overturn it on those things.
I don't know though. But that's what I'm saying. We had 2 overturned that were out calls that they overturned. And if you look at unless they're seeing a different replay than we are, if you look at the replays, I'm like, how are we overturning these? Are they close? Yes, but are they close enough where it's clear and concise? And maybe their rules are different than like the NFL, right? Where it has to be, indisputable visual evidence. Maybe that's not what the wording is for PPA. But yeah, but I don't envy these refs. Like, they have a freaking tough job with some of these replays. I mean, it's literally just a blur. So
do you think it will happen? Do you think automated calls will come to PPA next year in 2026?
I don't think it's going to be as automated. Like, I don't think it's going to be what we're all thinking. I think that there's going to be like a system where it's going to
So I played with this system many years ago that claimed to call, look, I'm going to be cleaning the desk off here too, that claimed to call balls out, and it actually did a pretty good job. But the issue is it missed some of the ones, and some of the balls that you need it to call are the ones that are in question.
Yeah, for sure.
So it does a good job on the balls that are easy, that are 2 inches out, 1 inch out, 5 inches out. But the ones that are really close, it doesn't do the best job. And those are the ones that you need it on.
For sure. I mean, those are the most important ones, right?
Exactly.
But here's the other thing. Let me tell you my other pet peeve, okay? There were plenty of times where like a ball would get challenged in these matches over the weekend. And it would be, like I said, either it would be missing a frame, it would just be this green blur. It'd be very difficult. And then like the player who challenged it would win, or the other player would win, and then they would like chirp. Or pound their chest about being right about the replay. And it's like, dude, did you not see that replay? Like, you have no effing clue. Right?
How about the one?
That's not a bad call.
I can't remember who hit it, but Leia got out of the way.
Oh yeah, and
it looked like it hit her head. But they said that it didn't. Like, I'm not sure what review they were looking at, but it clearly looks like the ball trajectory went differently.
It's just
it changed. It looked like it changed.
It did look like it changed. It's just a weird. Again, I think it's weird when players look, if it's a foot in and they're like, told you, but like, we're talking about millimeters, and these players are like, yeah, see, you're hooking us. Like, shut the hell up. Like, nobody's hooking you. Like, these balls are freaking flying 1,000,000 miles an hour. Right? Everybody's doing the best they can. Nobody's like trying to hook you. And honestly, if you go look at these replays.
There's a couple players.
Okay, well, Travis did. But if you go look at these replays, it's like, dude, we're talking about millimeters. So.
I agree. All right, real quick, we got to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is Vulcan Pickleball. We love Vulcan Pickleball. We don't have the ball right here.
No.
But they are the official ball of pickleball.
Speaking of Leia, did you see her tweet?
Yes, she likes the Vulcan ball.
She said, oh my gosh, I am so glad the Vulcan ball is back. She loves the Vulcan ball. Yeah. So do we.
Yes.
Vulcan ball is the best ball. It is the truest ball. It plays the best. Check it out, vulcanpickleball.com.
Okay. Use code KOTC.
Yes, but also they're doing an Amazon Prime sale as well.
Okay.
So this may be your lowest price of the season on the Vulcan ball. So check that out. And if you're interested in getting involved in the wholesale side of Vulcan, maybe you got a little online retailer, maybe you got a little shop, a little store, a country club, reach out to me.
Also, we say this every time, but Vulcan has some very, 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 very exciting new product updates coming out in the next 4 to 6 weeks or so. That I am personally thrilled about.
Vulcan is not playing, Tyler.
So I'm excited.
There's been a lot of pros that have checked out their new products and had a chance to use them, and there's some buzz.
Yeah. So thank you for the support, Vulcan. Go check out the ball. It's a great ball. The official ball of pickleball.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Jimmy, what else do we have? MLP New York. Anything else? Any other highlights?
No, I mean, like I said, I think that first, they kind of threw it together last minute. They did the best they could. But yeah, I think, it's time to kind of turn the page. Let's look forward to BCO.
Okay, moving forward. So BCO is the mid-season tournament. So as Jimmy said, it doesn't count towards the rankings unless you're a top 3 finisher.
Top 3, you get points.
Yep, and also prize money.
And prize money. So yeah, so it's 50,000.
50,000 for the winning team.
For the winning team.
Yep. So divide that by 4. What is that?
That is 17. What is that? 12,500 each.
Okay. I'll go on your word with that.
25,000 for second. 12,500 for third.
How is that prize money to you? Is it enough to motivate players?
I think it's tough because last year it was 200,000.
For the mid-season?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I think that it's tough.
Maybe I should have known that. I would have tried a little bit harder.
So Challenger, just so you know, last year DC won Challenger, which was Brooklyn at the time. And they got $40,000
wow.
for a team. So 10,000 each. This year, Challenger, guess what first place
Big
gets?
money.
Total, per team, total.
$7,000.
$7,000.
So what is that per player?
$1,700
Okay.
a player. 17.25.
Do you know if it gets paid directly to the players?
This does say that it is paid out directly to players.
Because last year, I don't know why, they paid the team.
They paid the owners.
And then the owners, if they wanted to, they decided on how much to pay the players.
Yeah, so I heard that some owners took that money and they paid like GMs and they paid like coaches and they paid like other people out of that. And then other teams, so they did not see all of that money.
Yeah.
Challenger second place gets $3,500. So $800 a piece.
Big money.
850, and then or was that 900? Yeah, 875, and then third place gets $500 a piece.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't love it. I'll be honest.
So you were supposed to go out there. It does not look like you're going out there this time. We were both out there last year. As you said, I will not be out there. I'm getting surgery on my wrist. So I will be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, so I got a day job now, and sometimes it gets in the way.
Okay.
But also we play on a Wednesday, which makes it tough, and we play so Challenger is just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You could be, and 4 teams, half the teams are out on Wednesday, and then 2 more teams are out on Thursday, and then only 2 teams play Friday.
Yeah.
So they're adding 2 college teams to make it 8. So a college all-star team. Ellie Douglas, Liam Duffin. You know Liam?
Liam, yeah, he lives here in Utah. I played with him a couple months ago.
Yeah, he was playing with Todd Fote the other day, actually, up at the Picklr in Kaysville. Zoe Kahn and AJ Kawaja will be playing for the college all-star team. And then Florida Atlantic University.
And what is that? Are they playing Challenger teams? Or?
They're playing Challenger, so they get the 7 and the 8 seed.
Oh, that's fun.
So the college all-star team will play Vegas.
Okay.
And then Florida Atlantic will play Nashville. So
what happens if they win? They get the money?
Yeah, they win the money.
That's awesome.
So Zachary Card, Ava Cavatayo, who I believe is signed. No, I think she plays for Miami. Zachary Marceau and Bella Nelson. And then DC takes on Florida, and then Bay Area will take on the Black Bears.
Can we buy stock in these all-star teams?
I know, it'd be sick, huh? On the Premier side, the 1 plays the 16, 2, 15, and so on. So as you can imagine, the first round of matchups aren't amazing. But like, for example, if the Shock, which we expect to beat the Hard Eights, if the Ranchers 7-10 beat the Slice or vice versa, they'll play the Shock.
Yeah. That
ends up being a good matchup. Mad Drops would be the 3 versus the 6. So if the Mad Drops beat Miami, they'll play the 5s. But we did find out that QD will not be there. He is out. So Mad Drops, again, not at full strength. Will they play Westboroughs? Probably not. I assume that they will pick up somebody. Maybe Rafa Hewitt?
Could.
Columbus will actually play Brooklyn. So they've avoided them. The 2 teams have avoided each other so far, but Columbus will play the Hogs. If they beat the Hogs, they will play Brooklyn. If Brooklyn beats the Bouncers, Bouncers will be without Jaume.
Okay.
So I assume it'll be Roddy and Todd Fote. with Victoria DeMuzio and Vivian Glausman. I would say
No,
Brooklyn.
Vivian David.
Oh, sorry, Vivian David, because Glausman is now in Chicago.
Yep.
I feel like Brooklyn has a pretty big advantage, even with AJ and subs. So yeah, anyways, it should be fun. I think after the first day, we'll have some really good matchups. But yeah, I mean, I love BCO. Pickleball is king.
From what I've heard, all the tickets are sold out already, and they have requested for more seating to be implemented. And so, yeah, that's awesome to see.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that I'll be very honest. I don't think that challenger teams are going to get up for that prize money, and honestly, rightfully so. I think it's almost embarrassing that they get 12.5% of the pot. Like, they're already kind of treated like second-class citizens.
Should have worked harder,
so to speak. I mean, I don't even think that has anything to do with it. I think, just to be clear, all 22 teams have to contribute to the $10 million league fee.
Yeah.
So I know the challenger teams aren't paying as much on players and other things, but at the end of the day, like, a lot of these players are the future of your sport. I mean, James Delgado is turning into a freaking stud, right? Like Juan and Lane Sleeth. I mean, some of these players are kind of the future of the sport. So I don't know. I think that you should probably treat them a little better, but maybe I'm biased.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe they want to treat them so poorly and have Premier be an incredible experience. So they say, hey, this is what you get when you make it up here.
Yeah. Which I don't know how many teams. I don't know how you can't advance every team next year. Because are you really going to do a 4-team challenger or a 2-team challenger?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put everybody in Premier, right, next year.
That or sell more teams.
Or sell more teams. And honestly, you want teams to not tank? Go back to freaking relegation. I mean, the Hustlers. Do you think the Hustlers would have spent money this year if they knew they were going to get relegated to challenger? Absolutely. Of course they would have.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think that Carolina would spend money? 100%. Which, speaking of, Tyler, hottest topic that I heard this weekend from a million different people, Jessie Irvin.
Okay.
Obviously, she had the falling out with Jeannie Bouchard, right? Mean Girls, Part 2. Probably why Jeannie didn't have anyone to hang out with on 4th of July. Spent it in her apartment alone, eating Mr. Chow's for the 3rd night in a row. Watching Love Island, wishing she could be on it. But while Jessie was out with all of her friends, didn't see Gabe there. But so here's my question: does Phoenix trade Jeannie? And Jessie, excuse me. And if they do, what's the best landing spot for Jessie?
So I think it's tricky because there's so many rules with MLP that I'm not familiar with all of them. But to my understanding is at the end of this year, every single team has to drop a player.
So yes,
you could keep her and then drop her at the end of this year, or you could try to shop her, get a little bit of money, but then I would imagine you're having to drop that new person. And so
so the question is this, like, what teams can improve?
I think there's many teams that could improve.
I agree, but what teams can improve that's worth it? So for example, Carolina.
Yeah.
If Jessie replaces Tammy, Tammy played very well this weekend, so this is not a knock on Tammy by any means. I'm not Caitlin Kerr. How much better are the Hogs?
I think they're better, but I still don't think they'd probably be in the top 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah, agreed. What about Orlando if she replaced Samantha Parker?
They would be also better. I still don't think they'd. I think the top 4 or 5 teams are pretty solid.
I agree, but Orlando's like in the 8-9 spot.
Yeah, they could probably go up 6, 7.
If she replaced, you don't have to. I'll comment on this. If she replaces Jeannie Arakina, right? I mean, you guys go from 10 to probably 7, 6 or 7.
Yeah,
possibly.
I think so, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just think that there's a few teams out there that might just be one player away, one female away.
Yeah.
And maybe Jessie is that person that really puts them into contention.
Yeah.
She's kind of been that hot commodity on the trade market, so it'll be interesting if anybody makes a move.
Yeah.
And goes and gets her.
Time is running out, though. I mean, we're halfway through the season. Some teams have already played more than 50% of their schedule, and so if teams are wanting to make a move, they need to do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, agreed. So.
Okay, anything else, Jimmy?
No, I'm excited for BCO. Like I said, it starts Wednesday. We have no time off, no days off, no breaks. Right back at it.
One thing that I thought, this is pretty random, but when I was watching that documentary, the Max documentary, HBO Max documentary on pickleball, one of the things that really stood out to me, really struck me, is one of the CEOs or one of the high-level people for MLP. They said, we wanted to do a method, a plan where all the players, they weren't playing every single week. How's it going? And it was interesting because these guys are people that have worked with top athletes in other sports. They work with top business leaders in all of business.
Yeah.
And they were saying that the amount of play that these players were already doing was insurmountable. And I thought that was really crazy coming from this other person.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons they created MLP, was to create more of an off season. And right now we don't have that, and you're seeing that with the Challenger, where it's week to week.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's tough. I think there's got to be some sort of, maybe next year there's some sort of break.
But then, all right, so I'm kind of taking devil's advocate side on this. But then you look at baseball or basketball, where they have a game, 2 or 3 games every single week. How is that different than pickleball?
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, baseball plays 162 games. I think the difference is, and just in my opinion, is the travel, right? They travel private.
True.
Right?
True.
They're put up in the nicest hotels. They have...
Not only that, but they have people scheduling stuff for them, so they just show up and
exactly.
they get
The
taken
support
care of.
staff is second to none, right? They have incredible support staff. They have physios, they have doctors, they have chiros, they have massage therapists. So all of those things are...
The thing I'd say is they still, with their crazy schedules, they still have an off season of 3 months.
They do. That's true too. Also, I know it sounds crazy, and people are like, "Oh, you're already overpaid for hitting a wiffle ball," but there's a difference between doing that and getting paid $30 million, $10 million, $5 million, and getting paid $200,000, $300,000.
Yeah, or even less.
For a lot of players. So,
yeah. All right. Anything else? I think we had quite a few questions come in, so we can hit those.
Yeah. Let's
All right, Jimmy. We don't have our Holey packet here. We will soon.
Yes.
Should we attach it to the wall or what?
We should. Let's hang it up.
Okay. Jimmy, tell us about Holey Performance.
Yeah. So Holey is the number one retail brand in the entire world when it comes to hydration and performance, Tyler. We love Holey. I actually just had a little bit of Holey pregame raspberry lemonade.
Is that why you're so pumped today?
I am. I'm fired up today. I'm excited. I'm excited about pickleball. I'm excited about MLP. I'm excited about Holey. We have our own flavor, white gummy.
White gummy, an exclusive.
White. Why does it got to be white?
I don't know.
Is white? When did white become a flavor?
Well, I don't think white is a flavor. Gummy is the flavor.
But why is it white?
I don't know.
But like you say white gummy, you know what it tastes like.
I don't think everyone knows what it tastes like.
A white gummy bear?
You ask 10 people, you'll get 8 different answers.
I feel like white gummy bears are the best flavored gummy bears.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. Just like pink Starburst.
Red Starburst are good.
Red or pink is fair. I'll take red. If you said yellow, then you're a serial killer. Anyways, check them out. HoleyPerformance.com. Use our code KOTC. Get some pregame, get some in-game. Sour apple greens are dynamite. Not only do they taste good, but you're putting good things in your body. You're taking care of yourself. If you want a physique like me,
What?
eat a lot of Jack in the Box. But if you want a physique like Tyler, Holey Performance.
Okay. We like to talk about age on this podcast. As much as I hate to say this, I am getting older, and it is crazy how important a role vitamins, nutrients, and the stuff that goes into your body plays a role into how you feel. Holey Performance, they create all those, they have all those nutrients, they make you feel good, and when you're sweating, it replaces all the nutrients that you sweat out of your body. So, go to Holey Performance, use code KOTC, and support us. Try out our our exclusive KOTC white gummy flavor. All right, Jimmy, we got some questions.
All right. I got a question.
Okay, go for it.
From our guy, Thomas Westrup, Papa Tom. Our guy.
Okay, what is it?
Are there any more Polynesian pros besides Etta and Pessa? Seems like there should be more since Polynesians love pickleball. Anyone up and coming? Thanks.
That's a good question. The Polynesian Hawaiian culture and population here in Utah is very strong. There's a lot of players that play it, but as he said, I don't know of any personally that are really itching to go pro.
No,
There's a lot of 4.0, 4.5, 5.0 players.
Yeah, I think
David Seuli.
Yeah, Dave Seuli is the wall. He's an OG. David Seuli, I want to talk about him for a minute. He's the nicest guy ever. He plays pickleball from sun up to sundown.
Yep.
Sleeps in his truck.
Yep.
Goes back and plays again.
Yep.
This is not a joke. We're not kidding about this.
Yep.
But the best part about him is this dude is no wasted movement on the court. He literally, like, it's incredible. Anyways.
There's one tournament I played against him like 8 years ago, and I was just having fun, but I was ripping every ball at him. And there he is, just all methodical, block, block, block. And here I am speeding everything up, block, block, block.
Yeah, they call him the wall for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, somebody said, I know this was a few weeks ago, but who dropped Tyler in men's doubles for San Clemente and why? Thanks for always answering my questions and keeping it real. So we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, you thought you were playing with somebody.
Yeah.
Thought you were playing with Noe.
Yes. Well, I was.
You were playing with Noe.
Yeah.
Noe decided to play with Tyson instead.
Yep.
It was too late for you to go to your original partner, who you usually play with, Connor.
Yep.
And so in the last minute, you had to end up picking up Spencer Smith.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right, Colin Johns, new challenger MVP.
He played very, very well. My challenger MVP so far this year, though. You want the honest truth?
I think I know who you're going to say, but
Challenger?
uh-huh.
Who?
Lane.
I think we're too low in the standings, but I think she's playing well. I actually think it's Michelle Esquivel.
Okay.
Michelle Esquivel is playing incredible right now. They just beat Brooke and Zoe. The chefs are in second place. I think Michelle is playing insane. But Lane is also having a very, very good year. But right now, just because of where they are in the standings, I would say it's Michelle.
Who is the most dominant team in challenger? Men's doubles.
I think Pablo and Delgado.
It has to be, yeah.
Delgado's continuing to improve, but
De La Rosa and Stefan are doing well.
De La Rosa and Stefan are playing well, and Colin and DJ did not lose this weekend in men's doubles, I don't think. So,
which team should pick up AJ Kohler?
Nobody, because he's a super sub and he's great at adapting, and I think AJ's found his niche. And why freaking go on a team and pigeonhole yourself? I think AJ should stay exactly where he is, personally.
How is it decided who plays in reg season? Is it random or strength of teams considered?
Hang on, sorry. Okay. Say it again. How is it decided?
How is it decided who plays in regulation season? Is it random or strength of teams considered? I believe it's strength of teams is considered.
I think that is. I think Samin actually makes the schedule. Maybe Courtney. I don't know exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's Samin, but I'm pretty sure it's also strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Strength of teams.
Yeah. And then obviously, there's certain matchups like you want the New York teams to play in New York and play each other in New York. But did you know? For like 30 years, so 162 games in baseball, 32 teams. Did you know that for 30 years, the schedules for Major League Baseball were made by hand by a husband and wife?
That's awesome.
They made them by hand. They literally would like put these sticky notes on the wall and they would hand make the Major League Baseball schedule.
You heard it here.
Chat GBT has nothing on them. GPT.
Is Marshall Brown a G for still using a power air?
Yeah, 100%. Dude, Marshall Brown is playing very well right now. Him and Scarpa, they're a good team. Like, that's another men's team that's very good. If I had to rank challenger men's teams, which would probably get me in trouble, I would say Pablo and James. I'd probably say
DJ and Colin right now.
DJ and Colin right now. I would probably say Marshall and Scarpa, Stefan and DLR, and then honestly probably the Bears are near the. I would say the Bears and then Travis and Kaysen. But Travis and Kaysen beat us.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 6 teams to choose from, so.
There are, but like they're good teams.
If you were Pardo, in charge of PPA and MLP, what 3 changes would you make?
Automated line calls, better line calls.
Okay.
I think that I would actually start I think you got to start finding players for effort and missing events.
Okay.
I know that like they do, but
they've ramped that up significantly.
It's got to be more stringent. I think that it's a bad look. Now look, legit injuries are legit injuries, and everybody's going to get hurt. I think Brooklyn has handled things the right way. I mean, Deckel was there, and I think, and even on top of that, I think you got to find owners for not giving the effort that they should be giving. I mean, dude, I found out there's another team that's not paying for their players' travel. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is, I actually do think it'd be fun if once a year they did a round, like a partner round robin tournament.
Gotcha. The only thing I would say, there's a lot of growing pains, and there's so many things. There are so many things that are getting worked on behind the scenes that people have no idea that they are getting worked on or even think about. But I would say the pay structure, it needs to be reformatted.
Yeah, I think that is something that definitely is. I don't know. We're going to see what feedback they take or what feedback they get. Everything that I've heard is the players feel like it's definitely top heavy.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Besides Ben, JW, and Fed, are there any players that play left side exclusively? So I'll say that most of the right-handed players, they prefer to play the left, but since they're right-handed, they can adjust, they can adapt.
Yeah.
But Ben and JW and Fed are kind of the staples that almost always play the left side.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because...
I mean, you could rephrase that question and say, who only plays the right? So you have Colin Johns.
Colin only plays the right.
Only plays the right.
Tardio.
Dias, or what side is Dias?
Well, Dias, he's been playing with CJ, so he's playing left with CJ,
but
obviously.
He was playing right with Alshon, right?
Yeah, no, Alshon was playing right.
That's right.
Yeah, but when he played with Ben, he played right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Diascu kind of plays both.
I think most of the top 15 players, top 20.
Yeah, remember Ignatowicz tried to make himself a right-sider for a while?
Yeah.
Tyson plays a lot of right with Deckel.
He does both.
But he does play both. Yeah, straight up is kind of interesting because we were just talking about Brooklyn women. Now they won 12 in a row. Well, they struggled at the beginning of the year. They lost a couple matches, and they started playing. And the question was, it's kind of like with the Rachel and Catherine, too, is who's going to play the left, right? Well, they started playing straight up, and that's it, dude. Like, if you can just play straight up, and both of you can play both sides equally, you're not getting caught unwinding. You know how many times we've been caught unwinding the freaking stack in MLP? Dude, it's incredible.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, like, and you have to do it every time.
Aware of it.
Yeah, as a lefty, like, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And so if you can play straight up, like, that's the way to go.
Is Hunter the best singles player?
Right now he is, yeah. He's the best single player, too. Is that pretty good?
Why is he single? What happened?
Paris was busy. Allegedly.
¿Con quién?
Who?
In Spanish, that means with who?
Oh. Spanish? Do they speak the same Spanish in Spain that they do in Mexico?
How long will Vulcan balls last in recreation play?
How hard do you hit?
Yeah, it depends on how hard you're hitting.
What's the temperature?
I
What's the conditions?
would say 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've used them. I mean, I used them for 2 weeks, and I've used them for literally one match because Daniel De La Rosa is going to put him out of freaking misery.
This guy's going off with his questions. He says, we all know Ben Johns has the highest floor, but who has a higher ceiling than him? I think there's actually a lot of players that have a higher ceiling. It's just their floor is so low that it never gets to that point.
Yeah, I agree. There's a ton of players with high ceilings.
DJ Young has a very high ceiling. AJ Kohler has a very high ceiling. Xiaomi has a very high ceiling.
Yep.
Connor Garnett has a high ceiling.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of players with high ceilings. The problem is their floor is much lower and their consistency is not there.
Yes.
Dude, consistency is king. It is so important.
I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Like, when is the last time you've seen, you know, how often, I should say, do you see Ben Johns just miss like a routine dink just because he missed a dink?
Yep.
Right? But watching Challenger to Premier, it happens all the time in Challenger. I mean, it happens 5 times a match. Dude, we give away points on more missed returns and missed. I mean, it's just because, you know, they're younger players, they're coming up, they're different level right now, but it's just a matter of improving, becoming consistent.
Okay, there's quite a few questions coming in. We'll get to a few more. What is Tyler's pregame meal? That's a great question.
Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots, Coke, and beef jerky. Sounds pretty good.
AL drinks Coke when she plays.
Yeah. All right, somebody said, is it honestly worth the time and money to rise the ranks of pro pickleball? Harsh truth, please.
The truth, the harsh truth is,
it depends on who you are.
Who you are and how long does it take, right? Is it worth it to grind for 4 years? Well, how high are you going? Are you getting to number one? Then absolutely.
Yeah.
You get to number one, you're making millions. Is your peak 30? And it takes you 3.5 years to get there? With this new pay structure, it might not be, right? It just really honestly depends.
Agreed. Would like Jimmy's take on the Hustlers uniforms on Sunday.
Yeah, the onesies?
Yeah, I think
fire.
so.
Absolute fire. And no better people out there to debut them than Helena Jansen and Dominique Schaefer. I will say this. Bears need some onesies. We got to get it. We got to make it happen. Stack, we got to make it happen.
Tyler, more details about the crash. What trail were you riding? That's a great question. So it was up AF Canyon, Provo Canyon up there. We started.
Those are two different canyons.
Huh?
Where they meet, you mean?
Were they what?
Those are two different canyons.
They were, but you cross over.
It's where they meet?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so I started at Cascade Springs, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
And then just went on one of those trails. I'm not sure what it was called, the exact trail.
Do you get looked at funny when you're on electric? Do you not get the two fingers?
Yes, but, people only do that on the road. They don't really
I know, but I'm just saying, do they, judge you? Do you feel judged?
They might, but then you rip past them, and it's like they can't even keep up. So
you rip into them.
Or into them.
Yes.
Yeah, so literally I was going on this trail. There was a blind corner. I was going pretty fast, around 13 to 15 miles an hour, and I started going up this hill, and this guy was on a 450 YZ, and we literally just 100% collided. My body hit his body. His peg went into right in my leg. I flew off the bike. I thought that I had actually broken my leg at the time, and I didn't think anything of my hand. I ride my bike back home another 5 minutes, get to the car, I start driving. I'm like, oh my gosh, my hand is killing me. Go to the Instacare, get it checked out, broken.
So I've broken my wrist and my hand, but I did not need surgery. What's the reason for the surgery?
So I should know a lot more than this, but it's called the scaphoid, and they say it's like the ACL of your hand. It stabilizes everything.
Okay.
And so, it's broken. And so they have to put a screw inside of it to weld my bones together so it can start healing. Apparently, if you don't do that, you can have a lot of serious issues later on in life. You can get arthritis, a lot of pain. And so, I'm going into surgery tomorrow. I'm actually a little bit nervous about it. I've never been in surgery before.
You haven't?
Never. Yeah.
So what they're gonna do is you can't eat tonight after what time?
11.
11.
Yeah, but I can have water up until 2 hours before.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's good. You can't chew gum either.
Correct.
In fact, I chewed gum once and they made me reschedule.
Really?
True story. And so what they do is they give you a little IV, and then the best part is they say, okay, count backwards to 100.
Really?
You'll get to 98. That's it. Then you're out. And then you'll wake up and you won't remember any of it. And it'll be good. It's the same day?
Yes.
So you don't have to stay the night in the hospital or anything? Yeah. So I actually broke my hand, true story. Punched someone. Probably shouldn't say this. But they put pins and they were all the way down here and all the way down here. Here's the worst part. So I had to have surgery. The worst part is when they took him out, I was awake, and I show up to the doctor, and they literally are going through this drawer, like a junk drawer at your house, and they pulled out some rusty pliers. True story. And they pulled it out, and you feel it. You feel it come all the way out, and then they pull it out, and you can feel it.
Jeez.
And that was, so anyways.
So I was talking to the nurse today. They do a pre-check list on everything, and they say, do you have a living will you want to bring with you? I'm like, oh my gosh, do I need to have this stuff figured out? So this might be the last you hear of me. Hopefully not. This will air after I have surgery.
If something happens, should we keep the podcast going?
Yes.
You tell me your last wishes right now.
Exactly. It was a pretty freak accident. It was a really freak accident, to be honest. top 3 best MLP and MLP uniforms and top 3 worst.
I'm biased. I think the Bears are incredible. I think the pink and the pinstripe are great, but I'll take those out of it. Mad Drops.
Okay.
Those
like
blue,
those,
they had those green pinstripes. I think that Mad Drops have owned their color scheme better than
I like
anybody.
their logo. I think their logo is sweet.
Logo's sick, but they've owned their color scheme. The blue and the green, they absolutely own that. Squeeze, those kind of old school basketball shorts that they have are pretty freaking sick with the stripes down them. They have the blue and the...
I don't like those for pickleball.
Maybe not for pickleball, but I think they're cool. I think people would wear them and buy them. The other uniform that I think Miami does a pretty good job with their uniforms. The worst uniforms, Carolina's #1. It's honestly not even close. The Hanes t-shirt with the hog.
Hey, it's classy. It's simple.
It's not.
I take that over a uniform that's screaming at you, has logos everywhere, crazy colors.
Sure, I agree. But like the other thing that I don't love is like Brooklyn announced like their apparel brand, and it's sick, dude. It's Wilson. It looks awesome, but their uniforms don't fit the apparel brand, right? Like they need to match. Like the apparel brand looks awesome. The uniforms are just whatever. Not that Brooklyn has one of the worst. I think Utah, it's very simple and plain. Yeah. I do like that you guys adapted some color now that you have green. I think that helps a little bit. Jeannie Bouchard's shirt last year is still my favorite. Pretty sure that was from the University of Utah blackout game. Connor Pardo had it in his closet, probably Carly's to be honest, and he just brought it for her to wear. It had like the logos on the, like you get the $5 t-shirts at football games.
Yeah.
The game day shirts. So yeah.
What is the biggest difference between Challenger and Premier teams?
Consistency.
Yeah.
They're more consistent. I mean, like I said, you notice the difference when you watch the gameplay. I think the peaks, the ceiling of these Challenger players is just as good. I mean, there are some points that I watched this weekend that were just absolutely incredible, but the consistency is not there.
What is happening to the squeeze? Crying face.
I just don't think Samantha Parker's there yet, and Lacey's not an alpha. Like she's an alpha to a point, but Lacey can't carry. She needs help.
Okay. I'd also add that their last MLP event, I think it's been some time, and so it's always interesting.
That probably,
getting
for sure.
back into the groove. All right. Somebody asked mean-spirited question a little bit. I'm not going to phrase it, but they asked about Dylan Frazier and his lack of success recently.
I mean, look, I talked to Dylan before the season when him and Jada broke up, and his goal was to play more left side, and he knew in doing so that it was kind of a 2-step forward.
He never messaged me.
1 step forward, 2 step back.
We could have won tournaments, me and Dylan.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think he's playing with Onsens now for the rest of the year. I think that'll probably help. And yeah, I just think he's trying to feel it out. He's trying to figure things out with, where he fits in. It's a very much a Riley Matt Wright situation where J-Dub and Dylan kind of got as far as they could get. Remember, Dylan was #1 in the world last year for a minute in points. I feel like they kind of felt like they got as far as they can get, but they weren't consistently beating Ben. And so they're like, hey, we got to take a swing. And Riley and Matt did it, and it was an epic failure, right? J-Dub was going to do it, and he was going to do it with Tardio, which I think would have worked well. Ben stole Tardio.
Yep.
J-Dub went and found CJ, and I think that's working pretty well for him.
Yep.
Dylan is still kind of trying to find that guy.
All right, we'll do 2 more questions. Tyler's favorite F1 driver. I love F1. To be honest, I don't know all the drivers that well, but I always say Max Verstappen. I really like him. He's a cold-blooded killer. He is the best. I've seen him in person, maybe 5 feet away. So yeah, he's a really cool guy. Most of the drivers are pretty cool. I like Charles Leclerc.
Lando Norris.
Lando Norris is great.
Lewis Hamilton.
I'm actually not that big of a Lewis Hamilton fan.
I mean, look, Verstappen is the guy, right? He's the one that, Did you see Lucy is?
Who?
Lucy went to.
I did not.
Europe.
Well, I know she was in Europe. Yeah, she went there last year.
Did she have you blocked?
Probably. I don't think I followed her.
Lucy's in Europe with Matt.
Nice.
And they went to the F1 arcade.
Oh, nice.
I got to go to like all these F1 events.
F1's incredible. I saw the movie F1.
Oh, you did? How was it?
It was good.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot.
Better than Lilo and Stitch?
I haven't seen that yet. No. I felt like it was good, but I felt like they could have done more with the storytelling.
You don't love Brad Pitt?
No, I like Brad Pitt. I thought it was great. I thought they could have done more with the storytelling.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how handsome is he in the movie?
He's the same. He's probably 9.
He's pretty handsome. Yeah.
Good guy. All right, last question. Does MLP lose money on these events? New York City one. The fan attendance seems so low.
Yeah, MLP, so does PPA. They both lose money on events. That's where we're at. Well, they lost $40 million last year. That's where we're at. TV deal, TV deal, TV deal, sponsor money, TV deal. I did hear a rumor that even without a TV deal, if they can implement these player contracts, even without a TV deal, they could be profitable next year, which is pretty incredible.
The New York City one, I mean, if you go back and look at the Central Park one, that one was wild. That one was great. They probably made money on that one.
Yeah. That's the highest attended one ever.
And MLP San Clemente, they also did very well. I think this last one in New York was just kind
of BCO is going to be insane.
Exactly. Salt Lake's going to be great. St. Louis is going to be great.
Yeah.
Dallas will most likely be good. But yeah, I think it just kind of depends. Each location will vary.
Yeah, agreed.
So, anything else, Jimmy?
I don't think so. Yeah, big week. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Thank you. Hit the like and subscribe. We get like literally very far amount of our we need more subscribers.
Yeah.
We do have insane engagement, which we love and appreciate, but we need more subscribers.
Should we just buy them?
I mean, that's what everyone else does. Did you see that dope pickleball go at freaking Jared Paul?
I didn't. I heard about it.
On X, he went hard.
What did he say?
He started freaking pulling up the back end of their website, and he's like, "You want to know why you only have one freaking view?" He's like, "You're charging people $10,000 for this and this, and you get one like." Like, he went off.
Who is he? Burner?
I don't know who he is. I have no idea.
Is it still there, or did he take it down?
Oh no, it's still there. He ain't playing.
Okay.
So.
All right. I have surgery, like I said. Not to make this all about me. We will see how it goes. I'm hoping to be back up and moving, but they said another week or two of zero of downtime completely.
Can you still do pods?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, if not,
you're going to do some solo ones.
No, but yeah. Okay.
We'll see you next time.